Okay, so welcome back and apologies for the late start today. So we're working our way through chapter 9 of this book, Sheep Theory Through Examples. And we're solidly in a module that focuses on simplicial complexes and sheaves on them, what are called, therefore, cellular sheaves. And this module is one that I was uncertain initially about including within this course because it does impose opportunity costs in terms of uh, deferring the time with which we can get to some papers on applications. But I decided to include it for a couple of reasons. The first is that simplicial complexes and the mathematics involving them, particularly homology and cohomology, turn out to be very useful on multiple lines of our work. These include some lines which are focused on data analysis. So some of you are aware of the whole burgeoning area of topological data analysis with tools that include persistent homology, zigzag homology, UMAP, and a variety of other methods, focusing on understanding the shape of data and using topological understanding to better understand data generating processes, including dynamical systems. And the critical role played by abstract simplicial complexes there, and simplicial complexes in embedded form, motivated me to include this. Secondly, one of those tools that comes from that, the tool of cohomology, and specifically when applied to sheaves, sheaf cohomology, is an essential tool in understanding what are called obstructions to sheaves, cases where we can't depict with a sheaf one consistent picture of what's going on based on, for example, data that we may have from our space. And sheaf cohomology provides us insight into obstructions. It provides us insight into what's preventing us from getting a consistent picture. And that too is visited within this chapter, chapter 9. A third reason is that cohomology, as EJ is aware, cohomology has also been applied by our collaborator Jean Baez in areas related to our application of category theory to system dynamics, and particularly for studying causal loop diagrams and what he terms, signed or graphs with polarities. And it can provide substantive insights there. There's potential for application of cohomology. I know at this point it's just a word for you, but we'll be getting to it within our very next session of this course. But cohomology could potentially also be applied to good effect in areas such as stock and flow diagrams for important insights. So that's another reason. But the final reason is that, maybe I'll add two more. So cellular sheaves, these sheaves on simplicial complexes, reflect an application of sheaves that comes up a lot in our sort of applied area. So simplicial complexes can capture topological structure for many of our needs, many needs relevant to health modeling. And that's a big motivation. They're a parsimonious tool for this. They're a tool that's actually quite a bit simpler to reason about than when you have continuous spaces. They can be derived from many as abstractions of many continuous examples. And they have broad application to many discrete domains. So this is really an important sort of sub area of application of sheaves for which is well suited to our needs. And the final motivation here, which we actually are not going to visit explicitly, but anyone who's interested is welcome to review the latter part of the previous chapter of the book, chapter 8, Sheaves Revisited. It is something I think we as a group could go and visit sometime. But the final bit of that, what it actually shows, is a finding of great significance that all pre-sheaves on, amongst other things, abstract simplicial complexes analyzed with the Alexandrov topology, that all such pre-sheaves are sheaves. So you automatically secure a sheaf property that guarantees a single unique global section for any consistent accounting of data within your system, which means that essentially it's proofs for free. You don't have to go prove this separately for each little application. It comes out directly. Now, that doesn't mean you can't have inconsistent data on those systems. It's not to say that you can't have a system which just doesn't add up, where it's inconsistent, where there's an obstruction. But what it is saying is that if you have these local sections that play together nicely, you get a single unique global section that's assured. And that's a powerful property, and it actually spares a lot of need for further work to prove a result of a single unique global section for many practical cases is my perception. So anyway, those are some reasons why we're going a bit deeper on this, and why we may touch on some things involving abstract simplicial complexes that are not strictly required by this material, but I think will do us well in some of our other work. So those are some motivations. I'm just going to stop this recording.